Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, a very warm welcome to you and welcome back to our regular community. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 40,512, up 6.64%. Go Bitcoin. Ethereum trading at 2747, up 5.3%. Let's have a look at the Ethereum tokens. 7 days a week, I share my knowledge as a full-time technical trader with over 20 years of experience to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Theta is doing really well, up 11.95%. Maker up 10.47%. Uni up 9.67%. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Rule 222, be kind to others. This is a really good rule because when we look as a community towards wealth, wealth is much more than money. Real wealth is about compassion and kindness and being a contribution to society. Kindness and integrity are the foundations of real wealth. There are a lot of very wealthy people out there, but if they don't have kindness or integrity, their wealth is purely financial. Those kind of lives are lives that are lived without meaning and fulfillment. Meaning and fulfillment come out of kindness and integrity. Our community is all about real wealth, not just financial wealth, but all the other things that go with it to make life really worthwhile and worth living. Rule 174, T-Cube method, trend, timing, and trigger. We'll go through timing in this video. We always do the trend video first. It's really important to know which direction Bitcoin and crypto, and indeed the stock market and commodities, are headed. Episode 170 is the trend particular video for this episode. I've also put in a lot of information on how to detect early warning signs of a stock and crypto crash. That is really good to know. If you haven't managed to watch episode 170, I would strongly recommend that you do so. It's got a lot of knowledge gems in it. It will help you a lot. If you're new to the community, I would recommend that you have a look at episode 93. It's especially useful to this particular video where we look through drawing, lines, structural resistance, and structural support. This episode 93 will save you a lot of money. You don't have to go out and buy expensive indicators or anything like that. You'll be taught the skills in episode 93 of how to create a graph and draw in the lines that I draw in. Okay, let's get back to it. Rule 1122, we use the KS method for timing. In this particular analysis, we're interested in how somebody really new to crypto would look at news headlines. So basically we're looking for positives and negatives. Stocks rally, wow, that's good. Oh, stock rally on pause, that's bad. Oh, it's on pause now. Ahead of pivotal jobs report, that's economic data. All economic data is covered in the trend video just before this one. Well, that seems pretty negative, doesn't it? It's like a wait and see. Manhunt for alleged Bitcoin scammer. Oh, naughty boy, is that him? I don't know. 2, Pennsylvania nuclear utilities launch Bitcoin mining units. Whoa, Bitcoin's about to go nuclear. Oh, that'll make it hit the rocket, and the rocket will go to the moon. Beautiful stuff. That must be positive. Crypto market cap adds $100 billion. Ooh, that's good. I should buy. Buy. Strong Bitcoin buying. Ooh, if they're doing it, I should do it too. Bitcoin is the future. Oh, fantastic. Beautiful. I want to be part of that. Cryptocurrency prices today. Bitcoin rises over 40,000. That's fantastic. Crypto Ethereum London fork helps prices rally. Oh, everything is so good. Bitcoin fixes this. It's fixing something. US infrastructure bill would add $250 billion to Bitcoin. Wow, that's fantastic. Xiaomi retailer in Portugal now accepts Bitcoin payments. Wow, Xiaomi is accepting Bitcoin payments? This is classic. I need to buy. So let's have a look at what the market is actually doing. We see it's pretty green. Now why did I show you that? Because news reflects current sentiment. Can you imagine if all these news reports were negative? You would look at the price action and say, I'm not reading this stuff anymore. They don't know what they're talking about. Let's go deep into crypto total market cap and see how the market is moving. Total market cap is currently $1.633 trillion. I'm so excited I can't speak. You know me, I'm not really excited. I just stuttered over my words. Naughty Ken. We can see this blue structural resistance line. This is a strong sell wall. That basically means there's going to be negative air underneath until the total crypto market cap can push through that. Now, if you're new to the whole crypto space, you may say, Ken, what are you looking at crypto total market cap? I just want to look at my beloved altcoin, the altcoin that I cuddle at night. I don't want to see anything else. Wow, please don't do that. You're going to cost yourself a lot of money. You need context. Context is really, really important. Now I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a secret. I'll give you a little gem. Guess what? This particular graph, this chart, actually reflects your beloved altcoins. Your coins are in this fingerprint, what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is how literally every single coin in the market is moving currently. Now, how many coins actually are there? Well, that'd be a gem. You can see at the moment, if we go over to coin market cap, cryptos 11,172. Whoa. That's how many coins are being reflected. All their relative movements are captured by just this one chart. How cool is that? It's amazing. I'll share something with you that I see in this chart. We've had a really good move up here with strength. We're coming into horizontal structural resistance. What we would anticipate is the alts could potentially back away from this structure before going forward. That's a potential. There will be a lot of people trying to sell all the alts across those 11,000 alts up here. Just bear that in mind. So what does that mean? It means that we could potentially, probabilistically, see price come down a little, maybe form one of these wicks before it seeks to strike up through that resistance and turn it into support. Just a little bit of a tip. Let's have a look at Bitcoin's technical analysis. Bitcoin is currently trading at 4565. It is literally at structural resistance right now. You can see it's coming up over that resistance, trying to turn it to support. Didn't get there, came back underneath, has attacked it again. But you notice this was a low here. This is a higher low. It's really, Bitcoin is very much trying to get above that structural resistance at the moment. When it does, it will take the entire market with it. If you're new to the channel, one of the biggest gems that you'll ever get is the understanding that Bitcoin drives the market. It drives your alt. The reason we take so much time to look at Bitcoin is that if we didn't, we wouldn't know what we're doing. It's really, really important to understand how Bitcoin's price is moving because it will drive your alts. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. For Bitcoin, resistance above is 41,150 and 41,555. Support below 40,142, 39,706 and 39,235. When you look at a chart like this, when you look at any particular chart, try and do pattern recognition. Have a look at this upside down U or half an O and look at this. What is that thing? I don't know. What does it look like? The Loch Ness Monster? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What does this whole thing look like? Is that a kind of distorted McDonald's symbol of some sort? I'm not sure. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The reason you do this is because the more you can understand the patterns, the more profitable you will actually be. It's an incredibly important skill to understand and to develop. When we look at Bitcoin, all exchanges' estimated leverage ratio, we see the leverage coming up, dropping off, now resuming up again. Please, if you're not a professional, do not use leverage. Don't long or short with borrowed funds. Just buy at market with your own money. That way you can withstand the volatility that is very much inherent in crypto. Just in case you're new to the channel, this is from Bybit, bybt.com. I love to share the sources of the information with you. So many channels hide everything. I find it incredibly annoying. There's often really, really good charts and data, and you just want to analyze it yourself. I make sure that I share. Let's have a look at Bitcoin futures market. We're wanting to see the perpetuals. We can see the majority, high volume, is long currently. Let's go across to the futures. They expire at certain dates. That's what the difference is. We can see the majority have turned long. Let's have a look at the number of margin longs measured in Bitcoin and the number of margin shorts measured in Bitcoin. The number of longs is in green. We see it increased, now it's decreasing. The number of margin shorts was decreasing and is still decreasing. I show you all of this information because I really want to expand on it in different videos, do a deeper dive. But as you become more and more proficient, you'll understand more and more, and you can go back to any video to see what is happening. Let's look at the options for Bitcoin. This is from coinoptionstrack.com. We look particularly at the end of month expiration because that's typically when the largest expirations occur. Total open interest is 20,632 for options expiring on the 27th of August. The max pain price is still 36,000. Have a look at some of these prices, reaching all the way up to 90,000, 80,000, 70,000 by the end of August. Pretty cool, huh? Let's have a look at Ethereum's technicals. Ethereum currently trading at 2796.74, resistance above at 28.48.14 and 29.13 even. Support below, it's literally at support at the current price. We have another support below at 26.79 and structural support at 26.09 and 28. Ethereum has been on an absolute tear. Look at this, it's doing so well. It has a lot of strength. People often ask me, should I get into a coin that is really, really weak, that has a lot of downward price momentum in the hope that it recovers, or should I pick something that's strong? I would always suggest pick strength. When you pick weakness, it typically remains weak. When you pick strength, it typically remains strong. Sometimes they masquerade. Something is weak and it pretends to be strong, and something is strong and it pretends to be weak. But over time, you can really understand what is what. Now, how do we tell the difference? The first thing we can look at is how Bitcoin's fingerprint is impacting the alt. This is quite a good way to understand if an actual alt has strength. If it's moving with Bitcoin, Bitcoin moves the market, and it's really important, it moves the market directionally. So as Bitcoin comes up, the alt comes up. If you find Bitcoin comes up, but the alt doesn't come up with it, that could be a sign of weakness, potentially. Remember, we said before that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If you actually have a look at these particular lines, you can see just how much Bitcoin rules the market. It really dominates how the entire market moves. It's really good to understand that. Now you say, Ken, how do I do that? How do I put this on? Okay, I'll show you. You go to compare. You search for the Bitcoin in the currency that you want, whatever that is, particular to your exchange. This is in TradingView, and then you just do a comparison. It's really that simple. You'll know that you've got it right when this price appears here. That's what you want. You want Bitcoin's price to appear on that axis. This is TradingView. I've got a link to TradingView in the description if you would like to download it. It's free to do. I fully recommend it. Let's have a look at Ethereum's leverage. Ethereum leverage was coming up. It dropped down, coming up again. Checking Ethereum futures on the perpetuals, we can see that there is a weighting towards short positions currently. Let's check the futures. The upcoming future on a lot of volume here is short. We've got some long ones around the same. We've got about 50-50 really. When we look at the number of margin longs in ETH, that's ETH USD longs. That's the thing that you put into TradingView. You can see they're coming up. ETH USD shorts is this red line. You see that they're coming up as well. Basically, if we were to zoom in here, we can see the longs have leveled out, but the shorts are coming up. Let's have a look at the Ethereum options. For the options expiring at the end of the month, because they're the most weighted with open interest, there's 150,221 in open interest. The max pain price is 2,400. Remember, it was 2,200 yesterday when we did this. Look at this weighting. There's a lot of calls up here. That's an expectation of price going up. The max pain price is where the majority of options will expire worthless. If you're interested in options, please note that around 75% of options expire worthless. That means you have a 75% chance of not making any money on what you put down. I would suggest that you get really professional before getting into options. Across the last 24 hours, $354.92 million in liquidations across 48,831 traders occurred. Let's have a look at the past 12 hours. Around 56% of liquidations were long. Now, if we go down and look at the base level of liquidations, we can see that they're not getting up into the $1 billion mark. They're just fairly low at the moment. Let's have a look across the past 15 minutes as a time increment. We can see a lot of shorts got liquidated back here, but the market is kind of just undecided at the moment. Everything I'm covering is designed to get you really familiar with all the technical jargon that floats around crypto. If people say longs and shorts and liquidations and futures and derivatives, you say, I know that stuff. I'll be doing special deep dive videos on all of these things, so it will give you a much deeper understanding. That will allow us to just fly through these videos each day. Psychological safety is a really good thing to study. We can look at that through the fear and greed index, which I'm sure you've come across before. What I do is that I graph it onto the price of Bitcoin so you know what is actually happening. The current fear and greed index is 52, which is neutral. It was neutral yesterday, fear the day before, and 2 neutrals the 2 days before that. We can see Bitcoin has come up, it has sold off. It's seeking to come up again. You may look at this red candle and say, oh no, it's all over, but it's actually not. This is just a part of price action. Always remember, and this is a really important thing to know, Price moves in waves. Don't be too concerned if it waves down. That's just quite normal price behavior. I'll just show you this little thing here. I love to integrate as many things onto one diagram as possible. Multi-billion-dollar liquidations are shown in the yellow here. And the max pain for Bitcoin, you can see here, static at 36,000. It's been static since the options expiration at the end of last month. I love to track everything for you and just present it in a way that's easiest for you to understand. Stablecoins are getting a lot of spotlight in the media at the moment. They're very important to the crypto community. A lot of pairs are not accessible readily to mainstream unless they are backed by USDT, which is Tether, or USDC, or a couple of others like PAX. We'll go through those in a minute. The Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio, the SSR oscillator, what are we actually seeing here? We're seeing that a lot of money was put into crypto. We had an outflow of stablecoins into Bitcoin. And then we reached here and the money was flowing out of Bitcoin back into stablecoins. Now it's flowing back into Bitcoin. This is really good to note. You notice that this diversion almost signaled the top over here. This is why we track this thing. That's a real big gem. I was mentioning before about USDT, USDC, and a couple of others. For example, BUSD, DAI, and PAX. These are really the major stable coins, each one about half the circulating volume of the one below it. Just as a interesting way to look at it, USDT, which is called Tether, has the predominant market share. It's currently around the 62 billion mark. Now, Tether has a potential Department of Justice probe into its commercial paper. That means the DOGE is looking at Tether and saying, prove it that you are actually backing $1 USD with $1 of value. Now, if we get a problem with Tether, and we could, we need to watch that. Everything that we do, we don't moon anything. We're very middle of the road. We know the trend, we know what's happening, and we dig underneath to actually understand if there are any early warning signals. And I just bring those to your attention. We can see USDT flattening out here, whilst USDC, which has got very visible reserves, is increasing. Unsurprisingly, I think Tether really needs to get its act together, or else it's going to be continually subject to scrutiny, unnecessarily so. BUSD is increasing, DAI is increasing, and PAX is kind of sort of wobbling all over the place really at the moment. If there is a problem with USDT, we will see a sharp drop as smart money gets out of Tether. I would recommend, if you want to be in Tether, just be in it very temporarily. If you wanted to transfer, say, 5 or 10,000 or 1,000 or 500, whatever it is that you want to do, just do it when you need to do it. Don't hold a Tether balance unless you absolutely have to, and keep it to the minimum. I think that's just prudent. That's what I do personally, and I'd love to share the things that I do to help you out. If Tether comes under scrutiny, we will see a lot of shorting behavior on Tether, because basically it will become depegged. It will go from $1 maybe down to 50 cents. So the shorts could have an absolute field day with that. So we're looking for excessive shorting. Remember, $62 billion worth of Tether. This is $5 million worth of shorting. It's not even worth looking at, but we're keeping our eye on it. That's the perpetual. Let's look at the future. The future is long. No issue here at the moment. I always refresh this to give you the latest information. You remember the cryptos were 11172? In the time taken to do this, we've got 3 more Congratulations, new crypto babies. Okay, let's have a look at the top 7. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Binance Coin, Cardano, XRP, and USD Coin. That's USDC. You can see Tether here, 62 billion. USD, around half of that. Keep these figures in mind. What I've done here, and I'll show you how I did this because I think it's really cool and very good for you to know. You can go over here. I would suggest that you create an account and log in so you can save it, or you might have to do this every time. What you can do is actually pick the things that I have here in blue, and then you apply the changes. This is from coinmarketcap.com. You can get this layout. It shows really interesting data, and I'd love for you to keep track of it. Bitcoin came up, let's just call it 7%. The volume to market cap was under 5%. Under 5%, went up 7%. Not bad. Ethereum, 9%, went up about half of that. That's interesting. Tether you ignore because it's a stable coin, just like USDC, ignore. Binance Coin, BNB, 2%, about equal. Cardano, 3%, half of that. XRP, about 7%, and about I'll call it 3%. This is really interesting. There is a hidden edge amongst all of this. I'll share it with you over time, but please keep your eye on it. Okay, let's look at the 24-hour percent gainers. I put the last 24-hour graph here and the last 7-day graph here. I want you to get an idea of what's happening in terms of price action. Okay, what are the greatest gainers? ICP, Ravencoin, FTM, Theta, XMR, MKR, and Elron, EGLD. Look at these particular patterns over the last 24 hours. They are not as significant as what happened over the last 7 days. You can see we passed resistance here. This is an interesting one. This Ravencoin passed across this resistance. Whenever there is a rally, it must pass resistance and get supported on the way up. You notice these resistances are all getting crossed. Very fascinating. That's a real little gem to keep in mind. Let's go the other way and see the greatest losses over the past 24 hours. ZRX, AMP, Quant, PAX, these are all stable coins. You don't need to worry about these because they're basically pegged to $1. Any variation is very small, as you can see. Look at ZRX. Over the past 7 days, it actually crossed resistance. When particular tokens cross resistance and they decrease, this is only down 3.45%. That's like a breath in crypto. It's nothing, literally. We can see that's still being supported. ZRX, 0x, is still being supported by price. Look at AMP. AMP is coming down. You notice that this is strength, this is weakness. Just at the moment, these things can turn around, but it's really important to keep your eye on strength versus weakness. What's Quant doing? It has a bit of strength, but it's just cut underneath. It's bypassed to the other side of resistance. If you draw a line up here, you'll see it. We'll look into that later. Let's turn to the 7-day percent greatest gainers. VGX, Rune, Luna, Quant, EGLD, RVN, BTT. You can see what's happening here. Look at Quant, it's actually going down. It's an interesting perspective how something can be going up very well, but can be coming down on the day. Just be aware of that. That's also very normal price behavior. You can look at these thumbnails and get a bit of an indication as to what is occurring. If you're new to the channel, I would recommend episode 104, how to read crypto thumbnails and charts. I gave you 100 examples in this particular case. It can really help you. I'm going to do an update on this video too, but that is a great video. It's really helpful. The greatest losses over the past 7 days, AMP, Flow, TEL, DCR, XDC, Swissborg, and T-Fuel. You can see these charts. Gives you some sort of idea. For example, AMP is coming down, but look at Flow. It's crossing resistance. It's starting to consolidate. Look at TEL. Crossing resistance, starting to consolidate, starting to go up. This graph can actually show you a lot of information. I hope this helps to see that. Let's have a look at Binance derivatives. 24-hour trading volume is $83.6 billion. 24-hour open interest is $7.8 billion. This is just from CoinGecko.com. I just put it down there because I don't like looking at the ads. Okay, now let's have a look at the change in price of the contract. That's the derivatives contract in the past 24 hours. You can see Bitcoin, let's call it 7%, just for rounding purposes. Let's look at ETH. ETH, 5%. We can see Bitcoin has more directional upward price pressure than ETH. Let's have a look through the other ones. Oh, they're all pretty low, aren't they? Uni, 9.5%. Theta, 11.5%. Theta's been doing really, really well. Just today. Well, not just today. SXP, 8%. XMR, 10.6%. MKR, 10.7%. BAL, 10.1%. We can see quite a few of these DENT, EGLD, they're starting to come up. Sometimes you'll see everything double-digit positive. Sometimes you'll see everything double-digit negative. IOST, 11.8%. TRB, 10.9%. You'll also see different associations depending on what the market is doing. RVN, 12.8%. Okay, let's just go down and have a look at the futures. There we go. We always do the top 7. The top 7 are really, really important coins to analyze. Binance Coin is currently trading, BNB, currently trading at 33.37. It has support below at 327.48 and 318.46. Resistance above at 339 and above that 348.62. You notice this particular structure. What do you see? It's coming up to structural resistance. You can see how that resistance has pushed the price of BNB down. They are very important things to understand. Of course, price is always moving in a wave. It's always going up and down. Let's have a look at Cardano. ADA is currently trading at 137.02. Support below 135.89. 133.43. Resistance above at 1,406 and 144.86. What I see when I look at this chart, I'm looking at ADA, looking at this peak, and then looking at this peak, which is a lower peak, looking at this peak, which is lower than the previous two. Then I look at this peak, which is about equal to the second. Then I look at this peak, which is basically nearly equal to that. What does it show me? What does it show us? It shows that the price is gathering momentum. We're seeing price trying to coil to break to the upside, but we're seeing a little bit of weakness here. We may possibly get ADA wicking down and wicking back up. If you're new to the community, our community doesn't have any fear at all about anything when it comes to crypto. We have systems in place. One system that we always use, buy at support as many levels down as you can afford to go. And that realistically depends on how much money you have and a lot of other things. I think it's really important. Experts do not know your needs. Only you do. But the very, very important thing is you always must lower your average buy price. That creates an enormous amount of profit. Let's have a look at XRP's technicals. XRP is currently trading at 73.06, resistance above 73.85 and 75.77, support below 71.49 and 78.99. When I look at this chart, I can see quite a few things. The first thing my eye is drawn to is this underpinning support line. That support line is way under this price, which is good. I see a low, a higher low, and a higher low here. That's showing potential strength. I see this particular resistance line that was crossed, indicating a change in trend. You notice the breakout came back for the retest and resumed off. I would move this line now to here to create some degree of understanding where the support might be. You can see this line coming up here. I wouldn't be personally too worried about this line. It's not negative air. It's just an indication, if you like, about where price could be channeling. You might have XRP and are saying, Ken, what potentially happens next to XRP's price? The first thing that I would recommend, have a look at Bitcoin's price. Okay, here we are. Bitcoin is consolidating around this structural resistance, seeking to turn it into structural support. When it does that, it will be able to rally up. Now, we never FOMO. We're always buying at support, at support, at support. A lot of people say, well, Ken, what happens if we buy at support and the levels are so far down? You can move the lowest one to the highest one that's not filled. For example, if you did support here, support here, support all the way down to there, and price hasn't filled this one, you could just bring it up there if you want, the lowest to the highest. That can be quite a good way. You don't chase price. The idea is that you always need to lift price up, the lift support levels when the support levels come up. Let's go back to XRP. You know this structure, that's important. You now know that Bitcoin is hovering around structural resistance, seeking to turn it into structural support. It wouldn't be at all surprising if the shorts come in and try to hammer down the price. The concept is the shorts do the opposite of longs. They sell first and then they buy back at a lower price, making their margin in between. As we know, Bitcoin is actually at structural resistance. That is the perfect time for the shorts to come in and try and hammer the market. Just be aware of that. If we get a wick down to any of these levels with any alt, it's pretty much irrelevant because we know that the overall trend of Bitcoin is looking quite good. That's why at the moment I'm just suggesting that you focus on buying. Let's have a look at Doge's technicals. Doge is currently trading at 19,995. It's basically at support right now. It has support below at 19,449 and 18,753. Resistance at 20,503 and 21,095. Let's have a look at Polkadot. Polkadot is currently trading at 19,138. It has support below at 18,880 and 18,321. Resistance above at 19,569 and $20 even. We can see that DOT has been doing really well. It's on a charge. It's showing a lot of strength. It's over that structural resistance early. It's consolidated and resuming back up. What we're looking at here is just for DOT to get above this particular tight resistance line. I hope that helps. Going back to rule 222, be kind to others. The Dalai Lama said, be kind whenever possible. And he said, it's always possible. It's a really nice thing to do. Inside our community, we're always interested in real wealth. Real wealth is much more than money. I have a little question for you. How do you feel when giving or receiving a random act of kindness? If you'd like to do a comment in the comment section, I'd really be interested. I hope you found the content useful. Everything I do for you is free. Please be aware of scammers. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe. And I'd also like to thank everybody that comments. It's just a beautiful community that we have. People reaching out and helping others. You're very kind, and that kindness has a domino effect on people. It's so beautiful to see. I do these videos to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions. If you would like twice daily updates, 7 days a week on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube, and you can join free groups on Facebook, Discord, and I'm also on Twitter. You can directly message me there. All our groups are free. Crypto is volatile. Please prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.